So I mentioned something earlier, and none of the black women in this room spoke up about it.
Okay.
But I talked about how none of our black women, support our black men when it comes to mental health, and I just feel like there's something that need to be talked about. Cause, yeah.
Okay, so
I just want to know everybody's perspective, especially since it's black women in this room right now.
I mean, I thought I already said that
let's start with you.
earlier.
I think it's very important. Our men need us mentally for a lot of things. That's why they carry the behaviors they have, and it's a lot of narcissism. That's what I'll call it. And a lot of our black men, we could say that came from.
And the black men or the black women?
It's a mixture of both, honestly.
Okay.
But honestly, daily, for my dating wise, I've been dating a lot of narcissistic, abusive black men. So I'm really speaking from experience for me. It's a lot of hurt men, abused, traumatized by black women, not just men, just black women. They're spiteful and evil, and they're hurtful too. They do stuff to our men, and that's why their mental is a little messed up, even if not childhood wounds. Death, trauma, it's part of their mental, and some things they need us to be there for them, to listen, sometimes to hold them, to be vulnerable. We don't make them feel safe to be vulnerable.
But she said, why we don't do it, so who do it? The white lady?
Yup.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying,
And I'm not going to
She
say
do it good
that white
too.
lady
I'm not
do it.
gonna say
Since
Yeah.
we the white
we
women.
don't
I'm
do
not
it, so the
gonna
white
say
lady
hold
do
on.
it.
I don't want to
What
say
y'all
black
talking
women
about?
don't do it, because I would never just say that there
What
is
y'all
black women
talking
that
about?
stand
I'm raising
behind their
two
black men.
Two black kings.
Y'all talking
So
about
I say
mothers.
right now, what
You-
y'all
you-
talking
talking
about?
about mothers. That shit
you'll
is
What
never-
y'all talking about? It
And
doesn't
if
matter
it's
if
the
it's a black
ladies,
woman,
not
no
mothers,
matter
they
if
would
it's
do
the
it, but-
kid or her man.
Okay, good. You'll never, guess what? You said that you're raising two black kings. Guess what? You'll never be able to actually raise them into a king. You can never raise your
I don't
sons
even
into
call
a
them
man.
kings, but I'm definitely gonna
100%.
raise them into men.
I
You
really
can't.
do.
Definitely.
It's impossible.
You're gonna raise them
Definitely
into
can
men
raise
that
them
women
into
don't
men.
like.
I honestly do
If
believe
y'all don't
that
like
a female.
y'all,
One
a woman
mic at a
can't
time,
even
real
say
quick.
they
Go
don't like
ahead.
my sons right now. I got stand-up young men right now,
How old are
and
they?
they
No,
only
no.
12 and 11
Then you
right
have,
now.
you have boys.
Stand up, but they stand
They're
up right
stand-up
now.
boys,
I
not
got young
men.
niggas with ski masks on doing all types of crazy stuff. Mines don't do that.
That's fine.
Mine don't do
You
that.
have stand-up
I got
boys,
real
not
guys,
men, though.
But it's okay. I got real guys.
So
I got young boys that you see it from as a child.
Yeah.
It start from a child. Mine ain't starting from no child.
I got you. No
So I
one's
don't have
knocking you for.
Yeah, I don't have that.
I have
So
Real quick. Let me just
Like what?
let's and save your train of thought. I'm sorry. No one's knocking you for you being a single mother and taking care of your sons.
I
Let me
didn't
finish.
say that, but when y'all say black women don't support black men's mental health,
Because it's a
And-
fact, though.
but
Like, that's a known fact. And then we're not just talking about you as a black woman. We're talking about black women as a
well,
whole.
then
general.
I don't categorize. I don't
She's talking about in
categorize
general.
with y'all.
But in
I don't
regards,
categorize
Why wouldn't you?
with
You're a
y'all.
black woman,
I don't-
are you
if
not?
If we not talking about me personally, I don't
But you're
categorize
a black
with y'all.
woman.
One, I make sure every black man around me is good.
I know,
No
but we're
black
talking
man
about black
around
women
me
in
can
general.
say they're
Like, we're
not
talking
good.
about
We have conversation.
The same way we were talking about white women
If
and
y'all
we were
don't
not-
have conversation with these black men, that's the problem. Have conversation. Have an open mind and listen to what's
I just
going on.
feel
If you
like-
ain't never go through what that man going through, you can't help that man no matter what y'all talking
my
about.
question was
No matter
why
what you
black
talking
women
about.
as a whole, not just Charlie in general, but by black women as a whole, don't support black men and
Answer
their
the
mental
question
health.
then.
speak on
Because
it,
you
I
black,
just-
so you got to answer the question.
She
you
can answer
saying
it
you
last.
black with no dad,
She
your
letting
mom ain't
everybody go
support your
around.
dad. It's a problem. So
I
what
never
was
said
the
my mom
problem?
didn't support my dad.
That's
I
why
said
he
I
wasn't
didn't have a
there.
father in
If
my
she
life.
was supporting, he would have
No, my-
stayed
my
with
dad's a
y'all.
bum,
If he was
actually.
supporting, he would have stayed with
No,
y'all.
my mom- my-
well,
my
then he
dad's a
should have went
bum.
to the white lady, and so she could help his
He didn't
mental,
go
so
to a
he
white
could have
lady.
came
He's
back
a
and
bum.
did his job.
He went to a
as
crackhead.
a person.
Another
so now
black
we all messed
crackhead,
up.
to be
Nobody
exact.
can help
So
nobody.
he chose drugs. So that
He chose drugs. It
So
had
nobody
nothing to
can
do
help
That's
with
the
him.
mental. That's
Yes,
just the
nobody
mental.
could help him.
So who
Not
helped
the
him with
black
his
lady,
mental?
not the white lady, not
My
the
dad
doctor,
has
not nobody could
he
help
has a
him.
problem,
Guess
and it's
what?
a generational problem. My mom did try to help my dad.
The last thing you're going to do is sit here and be black and try to
My
say black women
grandmother
don't
actually told
don't
me that I
stand
was
on
not my
business.
dad's
You're crazy.
kid, so it actually
You're
came from the
crazy.
root of like.
Okay,
home.
so listen.
Crazy.
Had nothing to
Listen.
do with
They
like,
can kill a
ladies,
black
calm
man
down.
right now, and that
Ladies,
white lady ain't going
calm
to
down.
stand right there. We is.
My dad had
They
nothing to
can
do
do
with
whatever
it.
they want to do to that black man right now, and the black lady
Yeah,
going to
one mic at a
stand
time,
10
ladies. One
toes
mic at a time.
down.
One mic at a time.
There's
Listen.
nothing y'all gonna be able to do about that.
Charlie,
that white
yeah,
lady,
I
not
got
that
you,
Chinese
Charlie.
lady, not
Okay.
that Indian lady. They
Okay.
gonna worry about their race
Okay.
and they
Got it,
kind,
Charlie.
and they gonna make sure
Here's-
they cool.
Here's what's happening
So
here. I
y'all
don't-
not gonna do that, cause I got black aunts. moms, cousins, grandmoms that stand on business, and that ain't just me. That's
Got
the
you.
whole as a regular as
Yeah,
one.
what you're doing
I'm pretty
is-
sure your mom don't play about you, and your mom don't fucking play about you either. So let's stop.
Yeah, Charlie,
It
what you're
doesn't
doing
matter
is
if we talking about
She's
kids
speaking in
or her
general.
man,
You're
and
making
I'm
it personal.
speaking in all.
You're taking it
Okay,
personal.
y'all knew I was. I'm speaking in all as a term.
Well,
So it's
all
no
is
way.
in general.
It's
no,
no
you're speaking
way.
specifically
It's no way.
about
I don't
things.
believe it, so it doesn't matter.
Okay,
So
well,
you
guess
every
what?
general
If there's
question
a-
it doesn't
if
matter.
it was
It
like
doesn't
a-
even matter.
if
I'm
it
never
was-
putting a white lady over us
Charlie.
ever.
I never said nothing about white
So it
person, did I?
doesn't matter.
Yo,
I just
you
asked why
super
black
triggered
It
right
doesn't
now.
matter if
Why
she's
are you this
Chinese.
triggered?
She can be anything. I'm not putting them over
But why
us
are you this
ever.
triggered right now?
Because anytime you comparing us to another race,
I never
or why
compared
we
She
don't
any of
do
us to
another
anything,
race.
well, it doesn't matter.
he
You
made the
started
white
off-
woman
Your
race
man-
joke.
I never said
the
no
white
white
lady
lady,
was going.
white
The white
lady,
lady
white
was
women,
going
white
in
nothing.
today.
I said black
She's
women
not.
and black men.
Okay,
That's
so
the
why
same
the white
comment.
lady
No,
don't
no.
support the black, the white
no,
man?
she made it. He
Why
just
is
said-
the white lady not supporting the white man, but she's supporting the
All right,
black
ladies,
man?
ladies, that's it. That's it.
It's
Enough.
not. We are.
Enough.
We
One
not.
mic at a
Anytime
time,
we
for real.
talking
Enough,
black,
enough,
we
enough.
can't do that.
One mic at a time, for real, because I'm gonna have to just start
Like, what?
really shutting it down. One mic at a time. Y'all talking too much. One, Charlie, she's speaking in general. You took it personal, right? In regards,
She said, "I'm
guess
sitting
what?
in here and
Okay,
nobody
great. I'm speaking
black,
right
no
now. You
black
speaking while
woman
I'm speaking.
Spoke on the
Listen,
water,
listen,
and
y'all
I
listen.
did.
You speaking,
And I
Charlie?
spoke on
Listen,
it.
you speaking while I'm
And I
speaking.
spoke on it from
you
the rip.
speaking while I'm speaking. What I'm saying is this. The reality is, statistically speaking, your sons being raised by you, the probability is extremely low that they will never become a man.
But they
no
will.
woman can raise
But
a
they
son
will.
into a man.
But they
No.
will. That's like
Th-
saying no
listen.
man can raise a girl into a woman.
Oh,
but
he
you gonna
definitely
say that?
can.
But
He can.
he can
No,
though,
he
right?
definitely can.
He
He
can. I
definitely
bet
can.
he can.
He definitely can.
I bet he can.
He definitely
and I
can.
bet my
You
young
guys
boy's gonna
are
be
so
top tier,
sexist.
and
This
there's
is like the
nothing y'all
most-
gonna be
It's
able
not
to do
sexist.
about it.
It's
My
just
young boy's
facts.
gonna be top tier, and that's in them right now.
So you agree with that?
That's
I
in them
agree.
right
I
now.
definitely do
I agree
agree.
with
I
Cooley
agree.
right
I
now.
100%
I
agree.
agree.
All right,
mean?
ladies, this is
agree.
good.
So
Y'all
why are
speaking
we
passionate.
nurturing this shit and we can't raise a man? We
I'll
can't
tell
raise.
you.
agree
That's
that
all.
you
I'll
Why,
answer
why
your
are we the
question.
But I
nurturers and
believe
we
we
can't
can
raise the girl?
daughters.
We can't raise the girl. We can't raise the son. We can't help the man. We can't do
No. I believe the woman can raise.
like what the f- that don't even make sense. We
Okay.
can't raise the kid. We can't raise
Because
the
be
daughter.
the one
We
that's
can't raise
raising
the
the kid.
son. The
Because-
man can raise the woman,
All right.
the son, the daughter,
However-
pay all the bills and do everything. And the
However,
woman
as
is
a
not
female,
capable to do shit.
Can you tell your daughter about her
Pregnant,
what should be
barefoot,
All right, so
Right,
listen,
and
ladies,
serving that.
listen,
Like, come on, stop.
You asked the question. I'm going
But
to
y'all
answer your
gotta
question
stop
because
with
you
that.
just talking too much.
You
I'll
gotta
let you
stop
get it
this
out.
Massa.
I'll let you
stop
get
with
it out,
that.
but now you're just
Like,
talking
y'all
too
gotta
much.
stop
And you're
with that.
asking questions where it seems like you truly need answers from because your worldview and your perspective is not in reality. So the truth is, statistically speaking, single mother households leads to degeneracy. Single mother households leads to juvenile delinquents. It leads to more men in prison. It leads to more women on stripper poles. It leads to all the degenerate behavior you see. It leads to gang violence and everything. Well, why are there gangs around? Because there's no fathers around. There were only mothers around. Fathers are the disciplinarians. Guess what? You know why? Because children just happen to listen to the father more than they listen to the mother. That's why. Also, when we're having this discussion and you keep looking at things very like anecdotally and say that we're speaking specifically about like you or anything, no, she's asking these questions and she's posing these questions in general. Like, why do black people in general, right? Then you start bringing other races in there. Let me finish. Charlie, let me finish. Listen, Charlie, if you don't,
you can't do that.
Charlie,
That
you
doesn't
keep
make
cutting
sense.
off, you got to go. I'm going to have to kick you off if you keep cutting off because I let you get it out, but now you are lacking decorum, right? So to explain things to you in more detail, one of the reasons why you can never raise your son into a man is because you are a woman. The only way a son can be, only way a boy can become a man is through a father. The other way is discovering it on his own. Most of these men out here that don't have any fathers, they're not real men. The ones that are men that don't have any fathers are real men. They discovered it on their own. And guess what? Would you want your son to discover it on his own to become a man? it's a lot of ups and downs because he never had an example to learn from. A wise person learns from other people's mistakes. So the father is there to instill certain things into the son to let him know, like, hey, don't do this because I did those things before. I bumped my head. I don't want you to bump your head. Do you get what I'm saying? You haven't lived the male experience. You lived a female experience, which is much different. The female experience is much privileged. It's more privileged than the man's position. You can go out. You don't have to worry about protecting and really providing. If all came to all, you can just sell your vagina. From my standpoint, women ain't out here buying. You get what I mean? So guess what? We actually have to go out there and work. This chick is on a stripper pole. Can a nigga get on a stripper pole and make bread like that?
Yes,
no.
Yes,
no, you're speaking about the exception. I knew y'all was going to say that. The exception. And guess what? That exception of men that actually go on a stripper pole and dance, they don't even make a fraction of the money that strippers make. So that is a lie. Even the male strippers don't make that bread. They do not make more. That is a lie. One, there is
cap. And this is coming from a dancer.
Yeah, she
that's
knows.
cap.
Men make less.
I know, but I'm just saying that's cap. Maybe back like when you were dancing, but like now in today's age, like nah,
men
that's
make
cap.
less.
You really think
so? Listen, ladies, I'm just giving you some game because before y'all was just speaking nonsense.
Women are more free with their money when they're drinking and having a good time. It's
What's that?
No. That what are you talking about? There's not a lot of women that want to go.
Don't
Stop
make
it.
money
Listen.
stripping,
Yes,
dancing,
what I'm
shaking
saying
their
is,
dick, whatever they're doing.
Do you think? Who do you?
Yes,
who
they
do.
do.
So okay. So who do you think are the buyers of sexuality? Who do you think are the consumers of sexuality?
Women.
Stop
Men.
speaking. Stop speaking. And listen. Think before you speak. Don't just respond. Think before you speak. Who do you think are the main consumers of sexuality? Men or women? If there is men that consume sexuality, obviously the market for women to sell their sexuality is going to be much bigger than the market for men to sell their sexuality. So what I'm saying is facts. You don't have to work. You can sell and still make it. You do never have to be a bum. Do you see homeless chicks on the street? No. If there's any homeless chick on the street, it's by choice. She don't gotta be homeless. She got a that she can sell. Ain't got to sell. It ain't working. So what I'm saying, the male experience is much different than a woman experience. You live life on freaking easy mode. You don't get it. You can't raise no son. It ain't happening. You don't understand the male experience. So you speaking like, well, yeah, I can raise my son into a boy. You're not raising your son into a boy. I'm trying to wake you up and give you the reality that you ain't. So the only thing you can hope for is maybe some nigga that you can bag as a stepfather to raise that for you. And if not, you better hope that God is with your son to raise that to a man. If not, he ain't being no man. He gonna be like all of these other whips that y'all chicks complain about. Sassy boys. Oh, these feminine. Oh, they're leading me on. They're selling me a dream. They're not being masculine and telling me the truth. He's gonna be like one of those niggas. The that y'all chicks complain about. What are you talking about? You raising a boy into a boy. He will never be a man.
I have to agree with him.
And I was about to say, I'm a female that grew up without a father, and like just saying based off of experience, so I could definitely vouch for that.
I'm agree. I have a 5-year-old myself. I agree. A boy. And,
she said, "I agree." Now y'all all agree. Okay.
I've been agreeing. She's been agreeing.
I agree with you.
Freaking passionate and have a vein pop in my head.
You can't tell me I ain't been through
I definitely.
I've been through probably more than you as a grown man ever been through.
What are you talking about? I'm the nigga that I'm speaking about. I was raised without a father. And guess what? I had to discover manhood on my own. Okay, you don't know that.
For you to say
I couldn't sell my I couldn't get on a stripper pole.
You ain't
I had to do it on my own. That's a different reality.
So I know for a fact what I'm willing to, what I'm able to do.
I am a top 1%er and came from Rawway Projects. Did it on my own. You are anecdotally speaking now. Since you wanted to speak anecdotally and talk about Cooley, you probably never been through what I've been through. Well, guess what? Maybe our experiences was different, but you could rely on your. I couldn't have to rely on
my. Relied on my.
I'm just saying you could
definitely
have.
Straight packs and straight outside. Definitely call my name right now and see what's under my belt though. I've never been a girl to sell no pussy. I've never been a girl that make it seem like that I'm just a feminist, a female ass girl that's crying at home all day and that's all my young boys hear. That's not what they hear. They taught structure and a whole lot of different
nobody
things.
ever said
So
that.
to say I'm not gonna be able
Y'all
to
not-
raise a man, that's crazy.
You can't.
I watched the whole. My aunt do it. Her son is it.
No,
He's
no.
it
If he became
by
a man,
herself.
he discovered it on his own.
By herself. She did it herself. And no man was there.
Okay, no,
She did it
in simple
herself.
terms,
She don't
you-
have a sassy son.
As a
She
female,
don't have a sassy son.
You can
as a
raise a son
female,
like
you
when
don't
can
have a
raise
sassy
a
son,
boy.
bro.
As a female, you can raise a boy,
But you can't turn him into
you
a man.
cannot raise a man. I do not know shit that it takes to be a man. I don't know what it comes to have an ego as a man. So I can teach my son the best way I know as a with a man that I look
Okay,
at.
well,
I can teach
let's
him
hear
the
her
best
perspective
way.
real quick,
But
ladies.
I cannot
I
teach
Yeah, real
him.
quick.
completely, I
What you
completely
say?
agree with Shara because it is a fact because we are not men. We couldn't tell them how to urinate and turn around.
I
mean,
taught
we
my
could
son
try,
how to pee standing
but-
up. And he taught his brother how to
Because you
pee
know
standing
that a
up.
man
We
pees
not know,
standing
but
up. But you're not a
y'all
man.
probably
But you're
taught
not
your
me.
son sitting down.
We can't.
Yo,
I did.
My
let-
son never,
real
my
quick,
son
let
never
her-
sat
yo,
down.
yo, Charlie,
He
Charlie,
stood
listen,
from the
Charlie.
beginning.
It's certain
He
Charlie,
don't
you
get
got-
dick from the
if it's-
beginning,
Charlie, this your
y'all.
final warning, or
That's
you getting
fine.
off?
I'm done though.
Yeah, out of here, then,
if
Charlie.
it's-
Charlie, you out.
I've been done.
Peace.
If it's discipline,
Yeah.
if it's certain things that a man just can teach. It's the power of a father and it's the power of the mother. Just point blank period. But that's why I said y'all can do a good job with a daughter, but not as well as the mom because there's certain things about the female you guys just don't know. Y'all can know and read, educate from that. But female wise, it's certain things from our breast, from our cycle, from our mental, from how our emotions change. The men can't do that because y'all are physically men. But as far as giving them a certain nurturing, yeah, fathers are good for that because us women, we need our father. And we can see that with Rumor, with myself. I don't know too much with Shaw's situation, but we are women that did not have our fathers in our lives always.
No, I didn't have it at all.
She said not at
Yeah,
all.
she
For
ain't
me,
have it at all.
It wasn't always. My dad was in and out. He was a military man, and he also had like alcoholism. So like mine was in and out.
Can we go back to the mental health thing?
So.
Listen,
Like, please.
Because
Charlie, listen.
To speak on that.
She just couldn't comprehend the conversation. She took everything
I
personal.
wasn't trying to say
and
none
then-
of y'all don't support the black men that y'all with or whatever the case may be. Y'all all
Exactly.
got kids. Y'all all black women. I'm just saying when I mentioned it, nobody spoke on it. And what I'm saying is
Facts.
I wanted to bring awareness to it because that's something that's major, especially in our community. Y'all know this.
Yes, and I actually do agree because and it goes back to being a female and a man being a man and the things that men may go through. As females, we don't know everything that a man goes through, just like a man doesn't know everything a female goes through. Whether we try to explain it or not emotionally, they're not going to physically understand how we're feeling and what we're going through. Same way as a female. And I feel like it is the light shed on mental health when it comes to men is very low because y'all are looked at as masculine and y'all supposed to be the providers.
The
Whoever
truth
said it
is
was
this,
never
ladies.
okay.
Yeah, here's the truth. My bad. The thing is, a woman can't help the man with his mental health. He needs his father there. So your question that you posed was, well, what are you ladies doing to help men with their mental health? To truly, like, actually get help, let's just speak facts. The biology, right? Women, you're higher in estrogen. You have 17 times less testosterone than us. You are higher in trait neuroticism. Trait neuroticism means that you feel more negative emotions than a man. So per situation, you are more likely to have a negative experience per situation than a man. So with that being said, you're more emotional than a man, and the way that you look at the world is just not how the man looks at it. So how can a woman really help a man out with his mental health? She can't do it. She's not going to be able to do that. So if you're in a relationship with a man and he's having some mental health issues, now there's things that a woman can do just to be a woman, like as being feminine, being submissive and nurturing. But for him to actually get out of, because think about this, the reason why men have some mental issues, if we're just speaking about this, usually it's because he's not satisfied in his position in his life. So the position he's at in his life, he's not satisfied. Think about it. Most mental issues that people have, it's like, dang, where I'm at in my life right now, I don't want to be here. I should be here, but I'm not there.
That's not always true.
That's always true.
It's not always true. It's just coming from somebody that like who goes through this shit on a daily. That's not
totally
always
fine.
true.
When is it not ever true? Let's break it down. I'll have these conversations. Go ahead. since you want to interrupt.
Damn near all the time.
Okay, give me an example. Give me an example where it's not true that the reason that you have some mental health issues is because you are unsatisfied with the current position you are at in your life.
I'm unsatisfied by the way I was treated as a kid.
Okay.
That has nothing to do with my current
right
situation in life. It's more so trauma that I just carried on, that I didn't get healed because I didn't get no question. I didn't get no answers for my questions. So it has nothing to do with like my current situation. I'm very happy with my current situation, but I got trauma that I couldn't.
You're proving my point, right?
How?
I'll explain how you're proving my point.
I'm very comfortable in my current situation.
Your current life situation. So that's we're speaking about mental health. So obviously your mental is current. So if currently right now you are not in a good mental place, is because you're unsatisfied where you're at in your life. And guess what? 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago, you could have went to some trauma in your younger life. And guess what? You haven't overcame it currently in your life. So you're not satisfied in your position in your life as it is today. You can't disprove what I'm saying. It is a fact. Everything that anyone goes through mentally is because they're not satisfied in their life position, which means that if it's some things that happened in the past that you went through, you need to overcome that. You need to address those things immediately instead of running away from it. That's what you need to do. And then everything else when it comes to a man, because we're not speaking about women, we're speaking about men. Women, they live in a state of rumination. They live in that state. They're more likely to live in the state. Men live in it too, but women are more likely to live in a state of rumination where they're dwelling on negative thoughts. That's a women issue. Once again, you're not a man, you're a woman. So we're speaking about a man. This is why I said that you can't understand how the man works because your biology and your mindset is different, right? So for a man, there's not much that a woman can do to really help him overcome that. Like you could be who you are and be a woman. That's great. That's good for you being a woman. But if he's having some mental issues, well, really, he's going to have to overcome that himself, or he needs a man to help him because we understand. You get what I'm saying? We understand. When Ease, or if I'm having an issue, I'll hit up Ease like, listen, man, instead of going to my mom or my girl, I hit up Ease like, yo, let's talk through this real quick. And guess what? He can give me a solution to my problem because he's been through it. Exactly through it. Another man's perspective, because we can relate through it. You're a woman. You can't relate. The things that we worry about, the things that we stress about, the way we tend to be fixated on certain things is much differently than the things that your mental would go towards. You won't be thinking about the same things we are. You're just not. So you need a man, or the man just needs to overcome it itself, which takes a whole lot of time. But does that make sense?
Can you call my therapist and tell her that so she could tell me that in the next session?
Yeah, so what does therapists do? Therapists, they want to keep you coming back so they don't always give you the truth, right? So what therapists do is they speak to you. In this building, there's 7 therapist offices. Guess what? These therapist offices, guess who they come to sometimes for perspective? Yeah. They see the pot. They're like, and sometimes it's like a little triggering to them. Like, I see some of your things and you said this. Well, what do you mean by that? And they come to me for some understanding because they're like, wow, I can't believe that you're doing this. And people actually come to you and you do coaching and stuff like that.
I always believe, therapists, they are people, like, they're humans at the end of the day. So they need people to talk to just.
And not only that, when they speak to you, they don't speak from a solution base. They speak to you to just let you vent and get your emotions out. And sometimes girls think that that's solution based. Now, for the woman's mind, it's a little different. A woman, now, as far as therapy, women are okay with venting. This nigga don't come to me venting. He like, Cooley, I got this situation, man. Yo, how can I get out of this? Solution based. But your mindset is different. Sometimes for you to get like some type of happiness and some type of comfortability, just by you venting and getting it out will be okay. But that ain't men. That ain't men. This is what I'm trying to tell you. You don't understand the male experience because you're not a man. So if you like that clip and you want to watch more, click right here. But if you want to watch the full episode, click right here.